Hey guys, it's Carter. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are all having a fantastic day today. Now in today's video, we're going to be talking about our swing trading strategy, giving you guys a little update on pretty much my profit, positions I'm in on, a good strategy. So I hope you guys all enjoy this. If you guys do, hit that like button and subscribe. And guys, the thing about swing trading is whether you're just starting out with $100 or you're starting out with $100,000, the only thing that's separating you from making more money is just one thing, and that's your strategy. So we're going to be breaking down a really good strategy that I've used for over 6 years to become a full-time trader in the market. So make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe. Also, if you want to learn more about swing trading, trading in the market, check out our school. You guys can use code FED, F-E-D, because the Federal Reserve just cut interest rates, causing a lot of stocks to start squeezing up, which is always really awesome. So we're doing a 50% off sale, code FED, where we talk about how to find these stocks, our strategies, our approach, pretty much my mindset, everything. If you want to take trading to the next level, it's an 8-week course. You won't regret it. It's awesome. And let's dive into this here. So this past week here, we did take one trade here, but we've also been in on a couple of positions, and I want to go ahead and break them down for you guys. So, we took a trade on ticker symbol AVGO. So, before we ever place a trade, we have to have a trading checklist here. So a trading checklist is a set of criterias that you have and you must implement in your trading, so you can always choose quality stocks rather than quantity. This will help you narrow down on opportunity. It'll help you narrow in on stocks with potential. So just breaking down the checklist here, we have upward trend, support on the daily, we have an undervalued RSI, we want to know when the earnings is, we want a good risk and reward, and then we want some sort of support or breakout on the 1 hour chart. So now that we understand the trading checklist, now let's move into some of the stocks here. So the broker that I'm using, I've had a lot of people ask me, the broker I am using is Moomoo. Moomoo is absolutely fantastic, and you guys can get up to 20 free stock just by signing up. So make sure you guys click that link down below, and let's jump into this here. So AVGO was the stock here that we traded. So going through our checklist here, you guys will see that everything kind of follows it, right? We have a nice upward trend. We have, a support right here on the 200-day moving average line. So this red line here, it sold off, hit it in the past, got good buying pressure, recently sold off, hit it. We've had great buying pressure. So it represented a really good opportunity on that 200-day moving average line for an entry. Now, another thing that we want to look for is an undervalued RSI. At the time of purchase, the stock was trading for about a 30 on the RSI, which the last time it was actually trading for a 30 was all the way back in mid 2022, so about 2 years ago. So I understood this was a really good opportunity. The next thing is earnings. Given that they just released earnings actually right before we bought it, I knew we were in the clear. For me, I never want to hold a stock through an earnings report just because it's a very risky time to hold a position for a trade. So you guys can see that in here where we had this stock actually go from about 150 to 130. This sell-off was due to a bad earnings. But on the flip side, we've also had good earnings where the stock goes from 148 all the way up to 183 in the matter of a couple of hours, just because of a good earnings report. So for me, an earnings is a 50-50 chance of making money, and I want higher odds than that. The next thing we want to look at here is the risk and reward. And this is why I love using a trading broker, is literally because of this reason here. If we entered here near and around that 200-day moving average line, setting our stop loss just below that support, the risk and reward is really good. So we're risking about $1 to make $4.48, which is awesome. That's fantastic. So now the last thing we want to look at is finding some sort of support or breakout. So you could actually see the heavy support here near and around the 137 area. But honestly, that's not even where we bought in on this position. We bought in on the breakout of this 45 range. We got in on the breakout of that moving average line. The approach was looking back in here where it broke out and through these moving average lines, it rallied its way up. So we thought, okay, we would get in on the breakout, set our stops just below it, and the stock has rallied up So now the approach is keeping our stop loss just below the 90-day moving average line. So if it does dip down below it, we'll just sell our shares, move on to other opportunities. So this has been an absolute fantastic trade. And we are up about 15% on this trade, which is absolutely insane. The thing that makes up a successful trader is two things. It's base hits. So those 1, 2, 3% returns that just compound over the year. That's what makes up a trader. Another one is consistency. If you guys have those two things, you'll be a very, very, very good trader because you're not swinging for home runs. When you swing for base hits, you'll occasionally get a hold of one, just like what we've seen, with this position being up 16%, which is awesome. So let's move on to the other stock here that we're holding here. And this is ticker symbol BFH. So looking at the chart, you'll notice a very, very similar thing. Stock on an upward trend, sold off down to, instead of the 200-day moving average line, it sold off to the 90-day moving average line. Both of them act as support and resistance. When the stocks are above it, they act as support. Now, the main difference between the 90 and the 200 is the 200 is just going to act as a harder support, harder resistance. So in a perfect world, yeah, you'd want to buy the stock around the 200-day moving average line. But given that this has seen previous support here several times near and around that 90-day moving average line, that was a very, very good indication. So going through it, stock on an upward trend, right? Sold off down to some level of support. So obviously we have the 90-day moving average line as support, and we also have actually a really, really decent trend line here. You guys can see that each and every time it hits this trend, we do have really good buying pressure. So before we ever place a trade off of a trend, we want a minimum of 3 touches of support. So you guys can see 1, 2, and 3. So given that it sold off, that would be the 4th. That would be a reason for an entry. Another thing here, looking back at the RSI, it was trading for about a 28. The last time it was trading for a 28 was back on here where it had this great move on the trend. So now going through it, right, you'll notice they're all very, very similar here. They released earnings about a month and a half ago, which earnings are, 4 times a year. So I knew we were in the clear for a little bit. Now going through the hourly, you guys can see that the hourly chart here looked really, really nice here. We got in on the breakout here of the 90-day moving average line, setting our stops just below this trend line. Setting your stops is very, very, very important for a trader because it'll minimize your losses. It'll help you with risk management. It'll help you with risk and reward and all of that stuff. So you guys can see entering here on that trend line, and the stock has just rallied its way up. So now what we're looking for is actually something like this, where we have that blue moving average line break up through the red. You guys can see we're on the verge of it here in the next couple of days, but this is a very bullish thing. It's actually called a golden cross. It's a very bullish thing for the stock to do, and I'm excited, and hopefully we can actually have that happen. But breaking down the risk and reward. So hopping in there, setting our stop loss just below that trend, and our target price up here at old resistance gives a risk and reward of about 6.59. So risking $1 to make $6.59. And guys, that's what makes up trading. If you guys want to learn how, make sure you guys check out our school, code FED to get 50% off. I'll see you guys in there. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Take care.